The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Bamako is on fire. It is boiling and burning because are all in all the saviors, the protectors, the unifiers, the messiahs, the kings of kings are most loved. Arrived in Bamako, and the way they arrived, everything was just so amazing. And we are all teaming together to fight against imperialism, neocolonialism, and every form of oppression, because we believe that the African must be free. This is our time, and we are also pushing and fighting back. Are all in all, the savior, the protector, the unifier, the messiah, the king of kings, the most loved, General Abdurrahman Tiani, just set everywhere ablaze. According to General Abdurrahman Tiani, the African mentally has been enslaved. They have sold and packaged poverty in a very nice way for us, and we bought into it. So the mindset is weak, and we are embracing poverty. But they are fighting against poverty. They are fighting against these people that are making sure they keep us poor.
His Excellency Captain Ibrahim Traoré, President of Faso and Head of State. His Excellency Captain Ibrahim Traoré, President of Faso and Head of State. His Excellency Colonel Assimi Goïta, President of the Transition and Head of State of the Republic of Mali. Mr. Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, members of the delegations of Burkina Faso and Mali. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the National Council for the Safeguarding of the Fatherland and the Government. Mr. Governor of the Niamey region, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, heads of diplomatic missions and representatives of international organizations, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor for me to extend a warm welcome to you in the Sahelian land of Niger. The event that brings us together is solemn and historic, as it constitutes an important step in consolidating the age-old geographical and cultural ties that unite our peoples. The summit that is the subject of our reunion today is the culmination of our fierce common desire to regain our national sovereignty and rehabilitate our legendary dignity. It is in line with the adoption on September 16, 2023, of the Charter establishing the Alliance of Sahel States. Ladies and gentlemen, the formal approval of the treaty establishing the Confederation of the Alliance of Sahel States, that is the AES, is thus the culmination of the aspirations of our populations to seal on the foundation of our common destiny, in writing. Une union d'États partageant les mêmes défis et les mêmes ambitions, en un mot, le même destin. Indeed, the formation of the Alliance of Sahel States has already made it possible to build around Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger a solid coalition, based on a common defense architecture and the pooling of resources fueled by a fusional solidarity, like that demonstrated by the authorities and peoples of Burkina and Mali against armed aggression projected by Ecowas against Niger.
à l'image de celles manifestées par les autorités et les peuples du Burkina et du Mali. L'agression armée projetée par la CEDEAO contre le Niger.
The formation of this front has dissuaded the desire to destabilize our country, and I would like to reiterate my feeling of deep gratitude to my brothers Ibrahim Traoré and Assimi Goïta for this clear proof of active solidarity. My country pays you a vibrant tribute for this position. Today, this front constitutes the bulwark against which any plan of aggression against the Confederation of the Alliance of Sahel States will crash. In this regard, I am pleased to note that the defense and security component of the Alliance of Sahel States is already making significant progress with the establishment of the Joint Force of the Sahel States. Moreover, in the theatre of operations, our armies are conducting successful joint operations in Liptako Gourma. Mr. President Goïta and Traoré, the Alliance of Sahel States Confederation will therefore be built on a substrate that ensures the protection of populations against any threat of aggression, rebellion, armed banditry or any hostile act coming from outside.
Rébellion, banditisme armé ou tout acte hostile venant de l'extérieur.
I remain convinced that in the current geopolitical context, the Alliance of Sahel States constitutes the only efficient sub-regional grouping in the field of the fight against terrorism, Ecowas having shone by its lack of involvement in this fight.
La CEDEAO ayant brillé par son déficit d'implication dans cette lutte. De ce fait,
as a result, the Alliance of Sahel States alone allows us to face terrorist threats as no other regional or international structure has done before.
Aucune autre structure régionale ou internationale ne l'a fait auparavant.
Dear fellow heads of state, while consolidating this strategic task, it is necessary in the current geopolitical context to coordinate our diplomatic actions, both bilaterally and within multilateral organizations, and harmonize our foreign policies to best guarantee the interests of our Alliance of Sahel States Confederation in the international arena.
Pour garantir au mieux les intérêts de notre confédération, Alliance État du Sahel dans l'arène internationale.
Significant diplomatic successes have already been recorded, as evidenced by the strong return of our states to the international stage, with the resumption of cooperation with bilateral and multilateral partners, as well as the conclusion of new strategic partnerships.
Ainsi que la conclusion de partenariats stratégiques nouveaux.
Concerning the development axis, it is urgent to create the conditions for genuine food security in the countries of the Alliance and to set up the economic, financial and monetary system necessary for financing development and productive investment in the space of the states of the Alliance.
Et monétaire nécessaire au financement du développement et à l'investissement productif dans l'espace des États de l'Alliance.
The economic fate of our states also lies in industrialization, with a view to the on-site transformation of our products and our wealth in natural resources. Similarly, the solidity of our confederation is based on our capacity to establish roads, airlines, railway networks as well as structuring projects in the field of agri-food, extractive industries and energy.
That they have made the population very poor because they made us dependent on them. And for that matter, the African believe that these are our saviors. They are the reason to which we are getting everything. because of the way they branded issues for us. But they are ready to fight to make sure that we break away from this chains. We must reclaim everything, and that we will continue to fight till we get that freedom. This is what they sold to the African. That today the African loves poverty so much because we believe that our inheritance is in the sky. When we die, we'll not go there and inherit. Because they told us that it is very difficult for the rich man to enter into heaven. So the African today is waiting for us to inherit heaven, while the same people who told us that a rich man cannot enter heaven is always here taking our riches. And we need to fight against this. That the African is mentally chained. And that is why today you, the African, you love poverty so much. When we are even wailing in poverty, we see it to be a blessing. Because of the narrative these people gave to us. And we are going to fight to liberate ourselves mentally. Because that is where the chains are. Physically we are free, but mentally the African is very weak. We will not continue to allow these people to impoverish us, to keep us in bondage, while they come for the resources, while they take everything out of our continent. Everything that is here must benefit us, and this is the reason we are having AES, and the leaders are telling us that the fight will begin here in West Africa. That is why day in, day out, they are getting themselves prepared by acquiring equipment. Because these people are never going to back down. And we must also fight to liberate ourselves. Poverty is not our field. Poverty shouldn't be our friend. If there is anything that they are using these resources for, we also need to use our resources for that same purpose. We have the know-how. We have the know-how. We must all unite and support our leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. We need to liberate ourselves mentally. We need to stand together with them to fight. Our population cannot continue to love poverty. Poverty is not our field. We need to rise up and fight to liberate ourselves. And this liberation, the African must get it. And it will not be on a silver platter. We need to come together collectively to support what they are doing. Not only in speech, but in also trying our little ways to educate ourselves and to make sure mentally we are free. Because if we don't do that, it will be very difficult for the African to fight. Because we are weak mentally. That is why these people can easily control us. So we need to come together to fight and liberate ourselves mentally. We cannot continue to be dependent on other people. That is not our portion. We must be free, take our sovereignty into our own hands. Be sufficient in everything. This is powerful. Let's come together. Let's unite. Let's start seeing ourselves as one people, whether in Mali, in Burkina, wherever that we find ourselves. We are one people. And we must all fight together with our leaders to liberate ourselves so that the African can reclaim his or her dignity. This is not our portion, and we must fight for that liberation. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world in Africa, West Africa, and in Niger.